Hello, everybody. My name is Kamora, and today we will be reviewing our 7th episode of Season 3 of Bubble Guppies. Season 3, Episode 7, Puppy Love. In this episode, a veterinarian takes care of Bubble Puppy when he's sick. While they wait, the Guppies learn more about dogs. Now, this episode was my absolute favorite episode growing up, and looking back at it now, during a very hard time in my life, I just love it even more. And I'll talk about that more towards the end. So, I'm going to try my best to keep myself together during this review because I'm going to try my best. Because I was kind of, I'll be honest, I was kind of emotional about this when I was about to start recording this review, because I was like, am I going to cry? Should I just call this review off? And I'm like, no. If I cry, so be it. And I'm going to get this review out for you guys. So let's do this. So our episode starts with Molly and Gil swimming to school. Everything is seeming normal, but we see Bubble Puppy, and he's not really his, barking, happy self. Every few minutes, he's like slowing down, and everything. And one point, he starts laying on the grass, and he's sniffling and sneezing, and both Molly and Gil think something's wrong with him, and they both carry him to school, and they tell Mr. Grouper that something might be wrong with Bubble Puppy, and he says that, why don't you put him in his bed, and I'll call the vet, and I'll call the animal doctor. And Dima says, pet pets have doctors, and Mr. Grouper said, yep, just like people. And then he's on the phone with the receptionist at the animal hospital, and she said that she's gonna send Dr. Martin right away, and he says that the animal doctor is gonna help him. And then we have our question segment about what do dogs have? Like, they have a tail, they have a tongue, they have a nose, and then we have a puppy is a guppy's best friend. Not to be confused with the episode, a dolphin is a guppy's best friend. Which I don't know if that was their initial idea when they got the title for that episode for this song, but I don't know. But the song is such a banger. Like, a puppy is a guppy's best friend. There's nothing then. A puppy is a guppy's best friend. It's just rocking. I love it. And then we have our shop segment with Dima and Gobi. With Dima, Gobi wants an animal to play with, and he says, and there's this gag where whenever you say fetch, there's like dogs in the back going buck wild, and Dima says you have to choose your dog wisely because some dogs are ready to play and some dogs aren't, which is like everyone else. Sometimes when we feel sleepy or we want to do different things, we have to choose between a puppy who looks legitimately scary and angry and one dog that looks calm, relaxed, and happy. Then we have our lunch joke, which is chicken poodle soup. And I love that Dima, Gobi, and Nani are all dressed as dogs. And them on top of the doghouse, it's giving, to me, A, very Snoopy from Peanuts, and B, the lunch joke segment from Bubble Puppy. The first episode where we actually, I don't know if this is like a callback to that, but if it was, I'm happy. And then we have our Molly and Gil segment. Gil's teaching the little fish how to be dogs. It doesn't really turn out well because one of them scares them and they're all playing around. When Gil tells them to stay, it doesn't work out good. And then we have the classroom segment. Dr. Martin's there to check on Bubble Puppy. And Dima adds a bit of humor here and there when they're in the classroom segment. Her pretending, her making the noise a harp, a stethoscope would make. And Dr. Martin explains that she has the same tools that doctors check on humans, because dogs have almost the same parts as body parts as we do. And she suggests that Bubble Puppy has a cold and she has to take him in, which I can only imagine how Gil's feeling. Like, he's feeling so heartbroken and sad that one of his best friends is being taken away, and I can only imagine how Gil's feeling. But Mr. Grouper reassures him that the vet's going to take great care of him, and he suggests that he wants to do something to make him feel better. And he suggests that the rest of them make get well cards, which is very sweet, which is very very sweet. And Dr. Martin goes and takes Bubble Puppy back to the vet, back to the animal hospital. And Gills doesn't really know what to put in his card, but once again, Dima adding the humor in. She makes her card into like a bone, and she says, "I hope Bubble Puppy doesn't choose it." And she pretends to be a dog chewing on it, which is really funny. And then we have our outside segment. Um, Dima and Gobi, they're animal doctors in Storybook Land, which is really awesome. That's a really awesome place. I'm getting very backyard against Escape from Fairy Tale Village, and we have three dogs. A giant's dog named Tiny. I want to say Jack and the Beanstalk. Yeah, because I saw a beanstalk in the background. Yeah, and his name was Tiny. And Dima saying, "Well, that was unexpected." And we have Goldilocks, his golden retriever, Goldie. So clever, so clever. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then we have the big bad wolf, who at first they seem it's going to eat them, but in real honesty, he just had some fleas. He just has some fleas. And I like how they use the methods to make the dogs feel better. Like Tiny, he had a splinter in his paw, which is not uncommon. Dogs can get stuff in their paws all the time, like a lot of prickly stuff that's very sensitive to them. Goldie, she was feeling very hot, overheated, and we learned about how dogs stick out their tongues to keep cool. And sometimes for the big bad wolf, dogs can get dirty and they can roll around a lot of stuff that can make them feel all itchy and get bugs in their fur. So yeah, I felt like the segment talked about dog care really well, and I like Dima when they had to go into the deep dark woods. She was like, "The deep dark woods." I like that. It was really funny. It was really funny. Overall, I did like this segment. It was really good. And then we have our dance song, the dog dance. Um, it had it had a really catchy beat to it. It had a really catchy beat to it. Dima, Molly, and Gil acting like dogs. I really like that too. And then we have our um then we have another Molly and Gil segment. Once again, Gil is trying to teach the dog, but it doesn't really go well because he asks them to roll over, and they just roll him off into a doggy tornado, fish dog tornado. And then it's finally time to go see Bubble Puppy at the animal hospital. Field trip. And I'm gonna keep myself together. I'm gonna keep myself together. Keep myself together. Keep myself together. Keep myself together. And it's finally time to see him, make sure that he's okay. And they want to make sure that he's okay. And the receptionist from earlier in the episode tells them where to find Bubble Puppy. And that image of Gil just looking on the inside of his cage where he was resting. Thank God we didn't see him in there, because that would have absolutely left a bad taste in my mouth. Not saying he wasn't being taken good care of. It's just that something about that. Just if Bubble Puppy was in that was actually in there, I would have absolutely lost it as a kid. And Gil's all upset, and he said he wrote him a card and he wanted to give it to Bubble Puppy. And Mr. Grouper suggests, why don't you read your card? Then it'll make you feel better. Then it can make you feel better. And I'm telling you, this right here has to be the most emotional moment, and not just in this season, but in this series. This poem came from the heart. It came from the heart. I just don't know what to say. This poem was absolutely. I'ma just say the way Gil said it. I wrote this get well card for you because you're kind of sick. I hope the vet takes care of you and you get better quick. I miss you every single second that you aren't here. I miss your cold wet nose and the spots on your ear. I miss giving you water and that yucky food you eat. I miss throwing you bubble bites, your favorite doggy treat. I miss you. I miss when we play Squeaky Bone, 'cause it's your favorite toy. I miss you, Bubble Puppy. Please get better, boy. I knew I wouldn't be able to keep it together. I knew I wouldn't. That poem was absolutely heartbreaking. It's sad. You can tell how inseparable Gil is to his dog. That poem absolutely destroyed me. And speaking of someone who lost a pet companion, this just hurts me even more because Gil thought his puppy wasn't coming back. He thought he was really sick. It hurt me. It destroyed me. It made me feel so sad for Gil because you know how much he loves the puppy. There's not a single moment where him and Bubble Puppy have a bad time together. You always see them happy, playing together, being the best of friends. And when it comes to this episode, him being away from his best friend for most of the episode absolutely hurt me. It hurt me deep down inside. I just felt so bad for Gil. And him, that poem that he read, the visuals, he became in like this black void, like spotlight area away from everyone else. That transition was really moving. And him just crying, and Dima just blowing her nose just represented how I felt. I just wish, I know it sounds a bit cruel of me to say, but I kind of wish one of the Guppies, heck, even Dima, somebody shedded a tear. Somebody. Listen, don't be afraid to show a little emotion on a kid's show. Don't be afraid. That's my opinion. Because it shows you how other people can feel around you. You know? And Mr. Grouper assures that poem was beautiful. And Gil says, I wish Bubble Puppy would hear it because he would go, arf, arf. And then we hear familiar bark, and then we see Dr. Martin, and she says, I have someone here who's feeling a lot better. And then he's all better. And he was so happy. This scene, I swear, it made me bawl my eyes out because it was so happy. This is one of the first times in my childhood I can recall ugly crying at something, happy tears, because it was that good. He got his dog back and he was all happy. He missed him for most of the episode. It absolutely was the sweetest moments, the sweetest episodes, heartbreaking too. That absolutely is absolutely the most sweetest ending ever, and I'm so happy Bubble Puppy came back to Gil because you could tell how upset he was that he didn't have his boy. I knew I would be able to keep it together. I knew it. And watching this episode now after losing my pet companion, I can truly say I really do appreciate this episode more than I ever did ever since I first saw it as a kid. And of course, we have a reprise. Of a puppy is a guppy's best friend. Because in that moment, who wouldn't want to sing that song? Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Okay. I'm gonna calm down. Okay, our last Molly and Gil segment. And we have Molly, we have Molly being so happy that puppy's all better. And trust me, Molly, we all are. We all are. And then she says, "How's your doggy school coming along?" to Gil, and Gil says that I actually have real dogs, and we see Bud and Dottie from past episodes, which is really nice cameo, and Bubble Puppy gets to join them in Gil's school. And at first everything's going good, but then one little fish slips in, and at first they start to put Gil in a little tornado again, but then he manages to get out of it, and then that ends our episode. So overall, if you can tell by my whole review, this was one of the sweetest, most heartbreaking, most heartwarming episodes in the series. This episode was absolutely beautiful, and it just shows you how much Gil and Bubble Puppy are inseparable from each other. And trust me, you could see it right here in this episode. You could see it. And anytime I'm missing my dog, I just put this episode on watch, and I just think of all the good times we had. Just like how I felt for the Backyardigans episode, Caveman's Best Friend. These two episodes, I have another episode to add to my list to remind me of my puppy. And luckily, speaking of puppies, we have, my rating. It's an undeniable 10 out of 10. Because I love this episode so much. I appreciate it. I love it. It's one of the most beautiful episodes the show has ever given us. Not just in the season, but the series. And I love it. I love it deep down. I love it. 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 As I was saying, speaking of puppy, our next episode is going to have another Bubble Puppy centric. But it's not just an episode. It's our second double length of this series. So tune in with me next time as we will be reviewing not just our next episode, but our second double length episode of the series. Season 3, episode 8 and 9, The Puppy and the Ring. See you all next time.